You are here on purpose with a purpose by design. Hello and welcome back to Purpose by Design podcast, international radio show. I'm so glad that you are here. Remember, you have a purpose by design and not by default. Thank you for coming and showing up. And as always, I just endeavor to bring you amazing guests that are going to inspire you with their story and share some awesome gold nuggets along the way. And so today I have with me, or you know what? I'm stopping for just a second. We're going to start that over. Anderson, is that your last name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Gosh, I drew a total blank. I'm like, is it Anderson? Okay, we'll start over. Smile. Hello and welcome back to Purpose by Design, international radio show and podcast. Remember, you have a purpose by design and not by default. Yes, you do. Thank you for coming back again. And as always, I endeavor to find amazing guests to inspire you and share their story with you and drop some gold nuggets along the way. And so today, we have the treasure of having Adonis Anderson with us. And Adonis is 19. Is that correct, Adonis? So Adonis is 19 years old. And you get to be a certain age and then you say years young, right? But Adonis is just such a powerhouse of a person and has such vision. And I'm excited for him to share his story and his vision and his forward thinking with this audience today. So he's going to inspire you, but he's inspiring the up and coming generations, the ones with him, the ones behind him, the ones in front of him. And you are going to be challenged and encouraged. So right now, before we go any further, I want to ask you to give an Adonis a fabulous audience today. So could you right now, could you share and could you subscribe right now so that we can spread this man's incredible story all around the globe? So with that, Adonis, welcome to Purpose by Design. Today, it's great to have you. How are you doing today?
I am marvelous. Hey, how are you?
That is awesome. It's good to see you. And you are coming to us today from where? Where do you reside?
I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, so I live here right now. Fort Worth.
Oh, in Fort Worth, blah, blah, Texas, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Adonis, before I turn you loose to tell us all about you, I think we're going to have you tell us who you are, and then I'll ask you the question. Adonis, tell us who you are, just kind of like the nuts and bolts of who you are, and then we're going to get into your story in a little bit. But who is Adonis Anderson?
Well, if I had to describe Adonis Anderson, it would just be like just a young man who is just trying to figure out the science of life right now and why people do what they do, and then just how to become the best man and like the best person I can be throughout the entire way. That's what that's what I would say, like how to like describe me. But also I'm very goofy though as well. So I'm very really like goofy dude, but I can be very serious at the same time. So something like that.
You're the goofy, serious guy
Yeah.
with
Like
a
when you get to know
huge
me.
vision when we get to
Yeah,
know you. Well, maybe we'll see some of that goofiness today or hear it.
maybe.
Oh, I love it. Okay. And you are a student, correct?
Oh yeah. Yes. I just finished my freshman year at Texas Wesleyan University. But I plan to transfer in like the next 2 months. But that place is undecided right now. But so
Okay. And you're an athlete, right?
yeah, I play basketball.
Okay. And I know that health and nutrition and helping others along that path is important to you, and you'll talk more about it later on. So, my next question to you is this: if you could have a billboard anywhere and on an interstate and it's big and people are on this busy interstate driving by it, and you could have a message that would reach the masses on that billboard, what would yours say?
I would think about this actually. Like my message would be either one or two things. It would be either make your day great or here to win. And I say that like to make your day great because like a lot of people say have well or like they always say have a good day, but like sometimes you're not gonna have a good day. Sometimes like so you're not gonna like have the good circumstances to have a good day. So it's your job to like make your day. Like that's what I say, like make your day great instead of have a good day. Something like that.
I love that. So make your day great. And what was the other one?
Here to win. Like you're always like here to win. Like you're not here to like surrender to nobody or anything like that. You're like here to like win the day. I always like that. I started saying that like my junior year of high school actually.
Here
Really.
to win. I
Mhm.
love it. But that sets a mindset and a tone for each and every day, doesn't it?
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
you start out with that thought process of making your day great, no matter what is coming down the path, you can choose to make it great and to have that mindset and heart attitude that we're here to win. I
Yeah.
love that. That's great. Thank you for sharing that with us. So, I am excited, and I know everybody else is, to hear a little bit about who you are. You told us a little about who you are, but your journey. How did Adonis get here to where he's at today, that he's on this road of being here to win, of making his day great, of making a difference, leaving your mark in the world? Just share with us your story. Take it away. It's all yours.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say, well, I was born and raised in Fort Worth, but like I was born in like the suburbs of Fort Worth, like the little cities around Fort Worth. Like one city's called Keller. I lived there till I was like 5. Then I moved in with my grandma around age like 5 or 6. So and she lived in Arlington, so that's where I stayed. And then I moved out of my grandma's house when I was like 12 to a city called Hurst. And that's with Hurst, Texas, and that's where like I really grew up. That's where like I really learned more about life and everything like that when I moved there. And then I was stayed there from like 7th to 10th grade, and then so from 10th grade, no, wait, what was it? Yeah, summer going into junior year, I moved to Austin, Texas, and I stayed there for 2 years, and I graduated there. But yeah, so like my story was just I stayed with my grandma because my father left. Because when I was living in Keller, I lived in Keller. I stayed with my mother and my father, and I have two siblings. They're both older than me. So I'm 19 right now. So my older sister, she's 21, and my older brother, he's 20. So all in order. So 21, 20, and 19.
Wow.
So yeah. So like when I was, I'm assuming, it was December 12th. I'm assuming I was like 4. Yeah, 4. Uh, so 4. Like my brother was 5 and my sister was 6. My father left, so my mother wasn't working at the time. So my father was like bringing in all the bread and everything.
Sure.
So but like so when he left, like she didn't have nowhere to go. Like she had no money saved up, so we had to move in with my grandmother for like 6, 7 years until she got back on her feet like that. And that's why we moved to Hearst. And then yeah, so when I moved to Hearst, that's when I started playing basketball in 7th grade. Played basketball in 7th grade. And then the funny story about that is the only reason why I made the team in 7th grade because I wasn't very good. Like I never played basketball before. But the only reason why I made the team is because like I cheated my mile time. I cheated my mile time because a mile is supposed to be 4 laps around the track. I ran 3 laps and I stopped. Uh, yeah, I ran 3 laps and I stopped. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise because like I don't recommend like cheating yourself or anything. But but that was like a blessing in disguise because like since that day I've never like stopped hooping. So
Mm.
that's it. So yeah, that's just what sparked it. And then um and then my middle school like it wasn't like very like it wasn't very like friendly, I guess. Like middle school wasn't as friendly as as others would say like theirs would be. 'Cause I was kind of like a bigger kid. I was kind of big, so I used to get bullied and stuff like that. And then I also stuttered a lot too. which I still have like a little bit of it, but like back then it was very, very like very, very bad. So I used to get like well made fun of and everything. But I was like it was weird because I was in the cool kid group, but like I was well, like the least cool of the cool kids. So I was like so I was so like conflicted by like how would I get made fun of, like so it was just like that. So just fast forward to my uh sophomore year, I was playing basketball, and then I tried out for the JV team, and then I almost got cut, but I didn't because my brother was on the team. So he convinced my coach to let me stay or whatever. So he let me stay, but like I never played. We had like what like 27 games I think that year, and I played 5 of them, and then I only scored like 2 points the entire season. I don't know whoever we're watching basketball or not, but like that's not very good. If you like go back, that's not very good. So, but yeah, but and then when I moved, and then when I heard that I was gonna move to Austin, uh, like I was kind of like sad at first because all like my best friends and everything were like in Fort Worth, like Hearst. But then I thought about it. I was like, okay, this is like a new beginning, like new basketball journey, like all that stuff. But then when I moved to my new school, like it was like the same old thing, like the same old thing. Like so, I was like I was in the cool kid group, but like the least of the cool kids. So I was like so confused on like how they keep on happening to me. Like why am I like well, hey, so like being in the same pattern, you know?
Right.
So well, and then like that reflected into my basketball as well because I wasn't doing good again. I wasn't doing good. But it was a day in like October or something like that, like October, September, something like that. And then like we were just scrimmaging, and then I'll never forget like this kid we called him X. Like no offense to him, but like I didn't think so. He was better than me at that time, but he was like playing over me and just hooping like so much harder than me, and I was just thinking like why am I not like performing as I know I can, you know? So after that day, uh, I went I went to go run, and by that time I was still like a big kid. I was like 5'9", like like 212, 212, 5'9", 212. So but like I went to go run. Uh, I tried to run a mile, couldn't do it, could not do it. Uh, yeah, I had to stop. So the next day I ran point 0.5, took like a 5 minute break, and then half a mile again. So and then that was that was at night, and then the next morning we had practice again, and then like that practice I had the best practice I ever had in my life. Like to this day, I'm pretty sure I had the best practice I ever had in my life, and I don't know why, but I was assuming it's because I started running. So after that day, I never stopped running. Like I never stopped. Um, so I never stopped running, and then after that, I started lifting. I started lifting heavy, like I started lifting for real, and then that's how like my workout journey started. So, excuse me, that's how my workout journey started. So, I start out. So I'm 19 now. I'm gonna say I started lifting like when I was like 17, 17. I started like working out for real. So, and then after that, basketball improved. Like like really like so my whole like world like started to like improve after I started to like work out because like a lot of like my mind was open to like being better about everything, like being better in school, being better in like communication with my parents and all that stuff. So so that was cool. And then what else? What else is important? Uh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the basketball, I made the team. Then I started on JV my junior year, and then my senior year, I was on varsity. I started all the games, and then I was voted team captain, and then I was voted team MVP, and then I was also voted all district team. So that and like that was just all started because like I started lifting and like I just started running, and because like that's really all it was. Like I wasn't like very like I wasn't as skilled as everybody else. But I feel like I just had like more like a work ethic than everybody else too. So that's what it was. But
Wow.
yeah,
So go ahead. Did you have something else you wanted to add
but
there?
I was just gonna say like well like right now I'm at Texas Wesleyan. Well I was, but I'm gonna transfer. But I had a basketball like offer there to like play for the program. Uh, but after like 2 3 months, like it just wasn't a good fit for me. Wasn't a good fit for me, so I decided to like stop playing for them. But I'm hoping to like will play for wherever a university I go to next. Yeah, that's really all it is right now about like my story.
And what a great story. I want to circle back to a couple of things that you said. First of all, you talked about being bullied and being like the cool, not cool
Yeah.
person or in the and for a lot of I mean, I can relate to some of that because as a child, we didn't move as often as you did, and it was like I'd get into a new school and a lot of times, because, you don't know anybody, you're the new kid on the block, uh,
Mm-hmm.
you would end up getting categorized, and so, I can remember going through some of that. How did you navigate through that as a young man? Being, you talked about experiencing that bullying. One minute you're like, okay, I'm with this cool group, so I'm accepted. And then all of a sudden you're not accepted. How did you navigate through that? Because obviously you've come through it, shining.
Yeah, thank you. But honestly, like I'm like in like seventh grade, like seventh to like 10th grade. It was hard because like all of my friends like like for example, like so if everybody was a like clowning each other, I couldn't join in because like a like so I couldn't defend myself because I would like stuttering a lot. So if I even try to, then it's a done deal. Like I'm getting flushed. So
Mm,
so yeah, I'm getting flushed. So if that's the case, then you just gotta take it. You just gotta take it, and then just well, hey, just next day just brush it off. And that's really what it was. Like I just had to like brush like a lot of things off, and then just like realize and so just realize that like so if I can't say anything back, I just gotta like mentally prepare myself for it, like mentally prepare myself for it, and like not let it like affect me, basically.
mm,
Because in my school, like it wasn't like we weren't like snitches or like tattletales or whatever. Well, so we weren't gonna tell on our friends and stuff, but it was very like difficult to like to think about like friends doing that to you a lot when like you didn't really like know why, you know.
mm.
But yeah, but you just gotta like adapt, I guess. You gotta adapt.
Those are some powerful words that you said. You said you needed to learn how to adapt and you needed to learn how to brush it off and just, keep on keeping on kind of.
Yeah,
And that's great advice for anybody out there today that's dealing with that, or you have a child that's dealing with that. Adonis learned how to just press through, and those are two really powerful words: adapt and shake it off. And that doesn't mean that you bow down to it
yeah,
and that you just, you let it affect you too much from the inside out, but how to navigate through that. That's really good. You also talked about what I called a crossroads in your life, and that crossroads was when you started running, a
oh yeah,
crossroads of when you started working out, and that just made all the difference in your life going forward. Do you remember like that aha moment of when it was like, I'm going to take a run
yes,
or I'm going to go work out? I mean, what sort of, to unpack that a little for us, like how did you go from, not really giving your all to like giving 200%? Because it sounds like something definitely changed. and you were aware of it. That was the other thing. You were aware of it. You were like, oh, well, that's just cool. And then go back to the old way of doing things. You noticed it, you were aware of it, and you continue to bring it forth.
Yeah. So just when when I was in Austin, when I first moved there, like I was complaining a lot to to my mom. Like I was so complaining about like I don't like it here. Hey, the people here are weird, all that stuff. Like all that stuff. And then it was one day. It was one day. I think I said something that really hurt her. I think I said something within that really hurt her, and then I felt terrible. I felt bad, and
Mhm.
then I felt bad, and then I think that was the same day. Like it had to be because I ran the next day. Like it had to be the same day that that ex that the ex guy like was hooping better than me that day. Like that's well like that all happened the same day. So
Mhm.
so hey, I was just thinking. So I'm gonna go to school tomorrow with a great attitude. So regardless of what happens, and then that night I'm gonna run. And that's what really that's what really like changed my entire mindset about everything. Like I was just like, well, I haven't given this school a chance, really. So
It's okay. Don't worry
my
about the
bad.
noise. It's all
Yeah, my
good.
bad. So like I haven't like really given this school a chance, or even like given like basketball really like or giving basketball like my all. So like at all. So like I'm just complaining a lot, but I'm really not doing nothing about it. Basically what I was thinking. And then so I started a playlist. I actually started this playlist like my sophomore year of high school, but I never listened to it. It was like a motivational playlist of like E.T., Les Brown, and all of them. And then I started listening to it like daily. And then I would just and then like that's how I started running. That's how I started.
Wow. So you really did have kind of a moment of like, okay, I've hurt my mom. I didn't want
Yeah.
to do that. So like that realization, had this situation happen at school that just with sports, and that was no good. Really, you took I call it a checkup from the neck up, right? Like you had that moment where you looked back and kind of had that self reflection,
Hmm.
honestly, with yourself. Not like pointing the finger, his fault, her fault, all this. You really had a heart check with yourself
Yeah.
and decided to make changes, and then walked it out. I'm glad that you brought up Les Brown because that's how I know you.
Hmm.
Was through the Power Voice with Les Brown, and then you and I share the same coach, our results coach, Jon Talarico, and he's awesome. And
Yeah.
so that's how I met you. Was through that whole process of beginning with the Power Voice, and I did get to hear your story about how you ended up in the Power Voice and eventually also with Thinking into Results with Jon Talarico as a coach. And, just a little side note for people that are like, well, Les Brown and Power Voice, what's that? So, the legendary Les Brown, top motivational speaker forever, 77 years young now, I believe. Anyways, he started during COVID an online academy for folks, like anybody. I was in it, Adonis was in it, and we could just pretty much sit at his feet and learn how to tell our stories, how to be strong speakers. And his coach, Les Brown even has a coach. Everybody needs one. Was and is the wonderful Jon Talarico. And then you had the opportunity in that program to get connected with John and try and you not try utilize him as a coach and develop that relationship. And his initial program, and it's still the program is Thinking into Results, and 6 months to a year, depending upon what you want to utilize, and then you kind of go forward from there with him. And so I wanted everybody to just understand what that dynamic meant. And if you want more information on that, you can reach out to Adonis or to myself, and we'd love to talk to you about that opportunity. However, Adonis, you joined in the Power Voice. I mean,
Yeah.
so here you are, an athlete.
Hmm.
Here you are, a student, a college student, and you ended up joining up with a speaking program about public
Yeah.
speaking and telling your story, and then saw the benefit to go beyond that and have a results coach, um, mindset mentor in your life to, to help you, um, be accountable and put together that plan for your future. I think that number one, that's first of all incredibly commendable, because there's not too many people in, there should be more, but in that age bracket, starting from like 18, 19, and going up until those uh, early 20s, that necessarily see the benefits. And if they do, they're not necessarily ready to make the commitment, uh, time, financial, all that stuff, to invest into themselves. And yet you did it. And that's a big part of what I think you're going to be. You're just going to be encouraging so many people in that teen something, 20 something age group, that, to invest in themselves. Because if we won't invest in ourselves, how is anybody else going to really believe in us and follow us if we won't make those initial investments in ourselves? But I'm so curious, well, to know or to rehear, and I know the audience is curious. How did you end up making that cross and going, crossover? Okay, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, but I think I'm going to join Power Voice Academy and I'm going to learn about public speaking and telling my story and being a motivational speaker. And then from there, how did you cross over to saying, I have an athletic coach, but gee, I think I want someone to help me with the results in my life? Uh,
Yeah.
from your unique perspective as a young man, how did that even happen?
This is gonna go back a little bit, but like I've always known that like so your mental is much more powerful than your physical weight, so your physical health and stuff. And then so like in like February, like January, February, I don't know why, but like I was tripping. Like my headspace was not like focused on anything. So I was like, okay, something needs to really change because I don't like this right now. Like, bro, I don't
Mhm.
like it at all. So so I ordered a book called Man Search for Meaning. I ordered like three books. It was Man Search for Meaning, The Power of Self Discipline by Brian Tracy. By Brian Tracy. Then what the it was a money book by like Tony Robbins or something like that, right? And then so the first book I read was Man Search for Meaning because it was the shortest. So
Yeah.
I had to like go slow. So Man Search for Meaning. So like I was in the middle of it, and then one day, I heard I heard Les Brown. Like I was listening to him while I was working out, right? And then I heard him say that he read that book before, and I don't know why, but like it made me feel like so like so like well not intelligent, just like so like just on the right path to like
Yeah.
know a to know that like so well to know that like so Les Brown read this book, so
Yeah.
like it's a good read, like basically.
Yes.
It's a good read. So like that. So that was another thing. So I started reading a lot, and then like but it was helping, but like it wasn't like fulfilling it.
Mhm.
And or like fulfilling like my trippy like me tripping basically. So and then it was like February, like I was on the phone with somebody, and then they told me they told me to like go talk to somebody like a professional, something like that. So I was like, okay, maybe. And then no lie, like 20 minutes later, I was scrolling through Instagram, and then I seen Les Brown pop up. I was like, okay, let me follow him. And then I seen it said, and then I clicked on his story, like his Instagram story, and it said the last chance the last chance to work with Les Brown. I was like, what? So I was like, okay, that's crazy. So I clicked on it, and then I just like I thought it over for like an hour, maybe less. I was thinking, okay, yeah, should I do this investment? And then I was just like, man, if I'm not gonna do it, then I'm just gonna still be, but still not have the answer to a to why I'm tripping and why I'm like and why I am where I am right now. So I was
Sure.
like, okay, I'm gonna do it. It was a 7-week program called Power Voice, and I did it, and then that's how I got in the Power Voice thing. So,
Wow. Now, what was the greatest transformation? If you could like pick one or two that happened through you and to you while you were in Power Voice, under the instruction of Mr. Les Brown,
well,
what was the greatest transformation for
well,
you?
really, it was just like it was just well, like knowing it was just knowing that like well knowing that like I'm not like alone, I guess, and I'm not alone in like the way I think, or in the way I think, and then how I like perceive the world, because like a lot of people around me like they don't view the world like I do, or or like try to like self progress as much as I try to. So it
Mhm,
was very like frustrating hearing people hearing people like say that like I'm doing too much and everything. So like that. So when they tell me sometimes I'm not doing enough stuff, so like that, it makes me like it's made me like feel good to like know that like that well, hey, that like people are like minded like me, basically.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally relate to that. So there were certain Power Voice nights because classes would be held on Zoom,
Yeah.
during the week, and there were certain classes to me that stuck out that,
Mhm.
they were all awesome, but there were certain things that were
Yeah.
unique to me that that stuck out and dove into my heart. And like really, when Mr. Brown said this or he said that one night when he was talking about how time is going by and we can't just, I'm shortening this up so much, but we can't
Mhm.
just kick back and have a lazy attitude. And then
Yeah.
he said, tick tock, the clock is ticking.
Mhm.
And it really kind of shook me to the core of who I am. Like, get up and get moving, right? So
Mhm.
I think we all have, all of us students that were in there have some of those moments
Mhm.
where there was something that Mr. Brown said that like was for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure it was for other people too, but that night TikTok was definitely for me. Is
Mhm.
there a night, I'm searching for the word here, or a lesson, session, or something that he said that kind of shook you like that and was advice that changed your life or changed your thinking?
Uh, well, I wouldn't say like a specific thing, but like so because he said this like the first night I came there, he just said that like so hey, you're the one, and I don't know why, like that just sticks with me, like it sticks with me every day, like so
Wow.
every day, like so hey, you're the one, really what it is, but like in that program, like really like got well who like well so like did the biggest like impact for
Mhm.
with me is Mr. Talarico, because just like standing after and hearing him like speak and stuff like that and talk to us, it was crazy. And the people who gave speeches, some of their speeches like were just incredible. So it
Yes.
really was like hidden.
Well, and you mentioned Mr. Talarico, who
Yeah.
is your coach. He's my coach,
Yeah.
and he is amazing. We love you, John.
Yeah.
How did that whole transfer? That sounds like you had a connection with him. So Les would teach for a while, and then John would stay on and answer questions and give some coaching to the people that were there. How did you connect with John and then end up with him as a coach? Tell everybody about that process.
Well, I think I think Fernanda, yeah, it's her name Fernanda. She was just spamming the Power Voice training with with calls about this extra program or whatever. So like I ignored it for like the first 3 or 4 weeks though. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was ignoring it. Uh, and, but then like so one night I was thinking, I should I'll schedule you a call, whatever. And then I called, and then we had a talk with and then I talked with Fernanda, and then like I'm not like she's very good at her job because I was very skeptical of it at first, but she convinced me. So she's very good at her job. She convinced me very. very like smoothly about it But then but then I was just thinking like, okay, so how am I gonna get the financial money for this? Basically, how am I gonna get the financial money for this? And then and so but and then so like so I and then I wrote down the date I was gonna join. I didn't know how they preached about like don't worry about the how, like 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 I wrote down my goal. And I was just waiting, like how is it gonna happen? Like I was just going through it, trying. Well, like I mean, I was trying things, like, but I didn't have no idea how I was gonna join this program. And then one day, Mr. Talarico called me, and then which was confusing because cause I was working out at the gym, right? I was working out, and then so my phone be like on do not disturb a lot because I don't like people like calling me when I'm working out. Like that's like my time, you know. So when I look at my phone, I get kind of irritated. I was like, bro, who's calling me? Who's calling me right now? But then it said California number, and I was thinking, I don't know nobody from California. Like I don't know nobody from California. But I was like, but like just something inside of me would like, okay, would answer the phone. So I answered it. He said, hey, it's Jon Talarico. I was like, who? I was like, what are you talking about? And he just said, yeah, it's me. So I was like, okay. And then so he talked to me about it and how he wanted me there. And then so we just made it happen. Like we just worked together about it, and that's just how it happened. So yeah.
How did that make you feel to have this man who you already admired and looked up to because you saw him across the Zoom room
Yeah.
on the Wednesday evening classes? You know that he is one of the top consultants for Bob Proctor. He's one of the top coaches that there, I mean, worldwide. And he is reaching out to you and wanting to make it work for him to coach you. How did that make you feel?
Made me feel very special. I'm not gonna lie. I was feeling myself that day in the gym. I was like, yeah, I was I was feeling myself. Not gonna lie to you. But yeah, but it just made me feel like very like wanted, basically.
Mm,
Wanted. Yeah.
celebrated, wanted.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, that just goes to show what kind of a man he is.
Yeah. Like he
And
was
wanting to,
amazing.
he's amazing. What did you just say? Please repeat that.
No, like so, and he's amazing. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, that is so special. So, was that the first time outside of having an athletic coach that you had someone that was there to kind of coach you, not through life, but to give you some direction, some empowerment, a results coach, someone that like saw your dream and your vision and wanted to help you make it manifest, like they were
Yeah.
dedicated to you, right?
Yeah.
Had you experienced that before, or was that a first time?
That was definitely the first time for me, most definitely. Like, and then like it was crazy because like I always will like envision something like that happening to me, but like
Really?
yeah, but what? Yeah, like I never like really thought like somebody would take their time out of their day to really show me that like they wanted me and well and so in their program and stuff. So that was just really like it really was like a great feeling basically.
Wow. So here you are, 19 years old. You're an athlete, you're a college student. You've now gone through Power Voice Academy. You have that behind you now, growing your confidence, and here and then moving up. Now you have your own coach helping you just navigate through this season in your life and believing in you, accepting you, standing with you, pushing you forward to achieve your goals and dreams, helping you organize those thoughts, changing those paradigms, all those things that Jon does, and he does it magnificently, of course. How did that impact you? So you've been in the program now for a while. How have, looking back now, how has that changed you? What has changed in Adonis as you've been learning from your coach and learning, of course, we learned through Bob Proctor as well, along with Jon. What has that done to your life and to your thinking, Adonis?
It's taught me that routines and little things are very, very important. Like, well, so just like, a, just like, so when you wake up and how you wake up and the thoughts you think when you wake up, they're gonna affect your entire day. Like, that's really like the big thing I got from it. Just, well, hey, just well, just like your morning routines, just how you think about things, and also a big thing with me is just, well, just letting life happen. You don't what I just don't stress about. Hey, don't stress about it, because stressing about it is just gonna like make it worse. So you just gotta like let it happen. So just let it happen, and then yeah, that's really all it is.
That's amazing. Do you think you'd be in the same
No,
headspace? Do you think you would be where you're at today if you hadn't taken all these opportunities that have been presented to you?
absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Uh, without that, I probably, I mean, I don't know. I probably just be like still tripping for like 6 months now. I probably still, and well, would still just be in my own head about a lot of things,
Mhm.
rather than just like accepting life as it is right now, and just waiting for the opportunity now, basically.
Wow. Yeah, I feel that. That's really powerful. It's taught you how to be an opportunity seeker and not just a life bystander, right?
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
changed you. Wow, from the inside out. That is so positive. So here's a question for you. So with all of this that has been poured into you, that God has poured into you and used all these different people to do it. How do you see this shaping you going forward where you can be paying it forward in the lives of others?
Well, that's like that. It kind of ties into like what I'm trying to do right now, because I started an Instagram page for like working out, and then like well, working out, and then like kind of like so like inspiring people, like especially like so younger people, stuff like that. Like it's just because what my major focus is with that, and like just in life with and when people hear my name, I just want them to realize that you can do it. Like you, well, that so it's like anybody can do it, as long as you have faith in yourself. Then as long as you really, just really, just really be true to yourself as well the entire time.
Mhm.
Like you don't let other people affect you and affect how you view yourself, because because I've done that a lot, and then I still do it sometimes. But you know that like the only person who truly knows you is you, and
Yeah.
that's just the most important person to really to really be friend is yourself. So be friends with yourself first before you can be friends with anybody else.
Wow, that is so beautiful. Powerful, of course, but beautiful that through all of this, you are taking your gifting of health, working out, fitness, whatever you want to call it. You've created an Instagram page. And in a moment, I'm going to have you share that where people can find it at. And in there, you're pushing forward really this vision of, being healthy, of course, physically and encouraging people, but you used words like inspiring. You talked about belief and you talked about being your own BFF, I mean, your best friend, right? And that whole change of mindset for you has come as you have sought first to invest in yourself. So to other people out there, maybe 20 something, that are thinking, I'm not going to spend money on that. You know what? I'm going to buy a new car. I'm going to whatever. What could you say to them about a reason why they should invest in themselves like you did?
Well, it's a big thing with me. Just, just like if you invest in yourself, eventually you'll have that money back plus a lot more. Basically, what it is. So you really shouldn't worry about like a car or like a new phone or anything so like that because if you invest in or in yourself correctly, then you're gonna make that like times 10. So
Powerful. That was perfectly said. I love that, Adonis. All right. So, one more question. Well, I have two more actually, but here's one more for you for now.
yeah.
From your unique perspective, after everything you've told us about you, your history, where you're at today, what your future goals are, what does purpose by design mean to you?
Purpose by design. Purpose by design like that. Like that's a really like great like little quote by the way. It's great. But honestly, if I would have to say like it would just be planning. We're planning and imagining your life
Mm.
and just working towards that. Like that. Well, that's what I would say it is. It's purpose by design. We just we just so nothing happens by accident. Everything happens for a purpose. You just gotta you gotta push through it and then just and, and realize that like the manufactured work is what makes the house like beautiful. Basically, what it is.
Wow. Oh, I love that. And I loved when you said planning and imagining. Oh, that is so powerful. Imagine it and plan it out. And then, as you said, that builds that whole structure for the house to be built around. That's so cool. I love that. Thank you, Adonis, for sharing that. So finally, we have all of this listed in the description. You just need to look below. But since you did highlight Instagram and your group there, or your page, sorry, on your Instagram, where do people find you to get all this inspiration and help about fitness and working out?
Well, right now it's me and my friend. We started a page, so it's called Don X Mile. So DonXMAL. It's all it is. So Don X Mile on Instagram only right now, cause we're just trying to focus on that, like one platform at a time. But eventually we'll start branching off more into like other vineyards and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here today. Is there anything else that you don't feel that you got to cover? Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Oh yes, I actually do, cause I just want people to realize hey, how crazy this is. So I'm gonna look at my reminders, right?
Okay.
Where is it? Here it is. So on February 2nd, 2000, February 22nd, 2019, I told myself, that I'm gonna get on an interview, and it's 2 years later, and now I'm here. So I don't want people to know that. That's crazy.
So you wrote that down in like a journal on your phone or something, or what?
Yeah, yeah. I wrote
Oh my
down.
gosh.
Yeah, so it's happened. So I write down a lot of reminders. So that's just the first one that ever happened. So
And this is the first of many. There's going to be many, many more. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. It just drives home the point of believing in yourself and believing in your God given calling and right to be here and what your purpose by design is. I'm so touched by that. I'm so glad to be just a small part in the movie of your life, Adonis. And this is so exciting for you. So I know you all heard that out there. So write it down, review it, and believe it. And look at that. And then he said it as reminders too, so that it pops up and reminds us of those things that we're standing on, we're believing for, we're praying for. How amazing is that? And Adonis, you have made the steps forward in your life so that the design, heaven's design for you, can come into play and can come into manifest. That doesn't happen when we sit on the sidelines of our life, right? It happens as we step into our life. As Les Brown, our mentor, says, you have greatness in you. And you have to step into that greatness in order to see all the kind of pieces of that jigsaw puzzle of our life begin to fall together. Adonis, you are an example. And I just, thank you for that. I just pray and hope that, that you will continue to take this by storm, and that there will be so many that you can influence as you go forward, because you definitely have that ability to help a lot of people along the way. Thank you so much for being here today and being my guest, my co-host. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing one of my goals to be checked off. For real. Thank you.
It's so exciting. Thank you, Adonis. And thank you, all of you, for being here again. I appreciate you so much. That's why we're here, is to serve you, right? So remember, you are here on purpose, with a purpose, by design, not by default. If you didn't already, subscribe and share, like, comment. Would you do me a favor and do that? So stories like Adonis, man, that they can just be spread across the globe, because they need to be heard. And there are people out there, there's lives hanging in the balance, and Adonis and his story is going to touch somebody's life. His voice and his story matters, and so does yours. So I want you to go on out there now and live your design, and be the salt and the light everywhere you go. Thank you for tuning in today. See you next week. Bye.
Pamela Henkel is the founder of the Purpose Center. Pamela is a mindset mentor, author, speaker, minister, and transformation coach. Her weekly podcast, international radio show, and television show are a lifeline that changes lives and inspires people to discover their individual potential through realizing their purpose by design. Pamela is a natural motivator and has shown many how to find their niche and transform their lives. Although success is an uphill battle, Pamela gives the necessary strategies to flourish, cheering you on every step of the way. Pamela shares from her personal experiences, education, and life as a woman in leadership, utilizing decades of knowledge. Taking the approach of, let's have coffee and chat, she will awaken your dreams and purpose by design. Are you ready for Pamela to help guide you? Email us at purposewpamela.office@gmail.com or go to her website at purposewithpamela.com.